This week I present you the Bosnian Markaa, and we continue with a currency from this region. Last week I presented you Bulgarian lev. This week the Bosnian Markaa, and they have similar stories and about they were introduced till today pegged to the Deutsche Mark. So yes, the rate is 2 per 1 euro. So those were created after the currency reform, abolishing these old hyperinflated currencies, which were shortly introduced after the collapse of the old regimes, or after the independence in case of Bosnia-Herzegovina. And this currency is unique worldwide because they have two series for Srpska and for the other part, the Croatian part. So for each denomination we have two different versions with two different persons featured on them. I guess they also have another back design. So they were denominations from 50, what's the equivalent of Pfennig in Bosnian language. And yes, of course, which is interesting, they have both written in Cyrillic and Latin letters, and they just change it on the differ version. And unfortunately, I only have notes from the Croatian part. I exchanged those newer versions in Croatia, and they only had the Croatian versions. I also have an older 5 denomination. They're not anymore in circulation, or they're not printed anymore. I guess they're demonetized even, and they use a 5 marker coin, which is interesting because it's not typical for this country to use that high denominated coins. Or the 5 marker note is worth €2.50. So the lower denomination is is worth a bit more than €5. What's interesting is this special ink. And this guy with the sunglasses, that's interesting. Here we have a date. And this, which is quite special because they're normally printed as this stripe. And that's a quite modernized new series. Different watermark, 2 security stripes, a really new one. And you recognize also what you would see under the UV light. This 10. And they have Omron rings. And on the back they have an additional stripe. That's interesting, in this green color. It matches the gray, I guess. Personally, I think so. Yes, and there's also a 200 denomination, which kind of unifies or has an unifying them, or there are not two versions of the 200 note, and the design is completely different from all the other denominations. Yes, so that's the currency for this week. See you next week.